What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and it's been a little while that I've done one of these new WandsDays, but I'm happy to say I'm getting back into the groove of it, and I've made 6 wands that I'm going to show you guys today. If you guys checked out the previous video, the wand shop talk video, which was basically me in the wand shop talking a bit and kind of explaining a couple things and making some wands. I didn't go fully in depth in that video, but you can check out the process and some of the stuff I did. I plan on doing more of those and getting a little bit more in depth with it. It's kind of like the idea of the shop. One, I can make more wands. I can get work done in a cleaner environment and actually have something dedicated for making stuff. So that's the plan there. And I'm hoping to continue to make more wands there. Also, I do plan on getting back into the wand reviews. I think I have enough to make one right now. So if you guys want to submit anything to that, send it over to newwandsday@gmail.com. If you recently sent me some, I will be going over those probably in the next video about the things. But with these wands, I will most likely not be posting them directly after this video is live because I don't have enough time to do that for this. So I plan on doing it probably in the next couple of days. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'll probably post something on there, but I'll probably post it on Discord first. Also, Discord, you guys have already seen these wands because I did post it on there already. So that's good, right? So if you guys do want to check out how some of these were made, not fully in depth, I do plan on making some videos like that in the future. Maybe even a couple of like tips on what to do. I definitely will be doing a tool thing to explain like my most used tools and stuff. You guys kind of saw that in that last video if you watched it. But I had like 10 wands or 9 wands on there that I wasn't actually able to finish all of them. So I had to stop at some point and then only work on the few that I was going to be able to finish. And that's what I got. I got 6. So that's good, right? It's at least decent. So let's start off with this ash wand. The original idea for this, it was actually going to be slightly different than it is. I was going to do a lot more carving and stuff into it, but when I showed Meekachii, she was like, "Oh, I really like that light one," and I was like, "Okay, you like it? I can do you one better." So then I added this whitewash. I was gonna say light wash. This whitewash on it, and then sanded it down a little bit more. Did a couple of coats of finish on it to get it nice and smooth. Sanding between the coats to get it nice and smooth. And I think it came out really nice. It does have that like Bellatrix style of handle and look and stuff. I really like it. It's very simple, but still looks very, in my opinion, very much like a wand. At the end of this, by the way, when you guys see all of the wands, let me know which one was your favorite. I think I have my favorite and my second. My second is kind of tied, but I do have my favorite. I think my favorite in this batch is, if you guys watched the other thing, there was the ribbon wand. The ribbon wand. I did something different with it though. I think it came out pretty good. The next one is this one here, which this one's funny because it actually wasn't originally supposed to be exactly like this. I ended up like just changing it as I started carving it. I was just like, oh, this would be kind of cool if I did this. And then if I did this, and that happens a lot. Somebody recently mentioned that they don't like to draw their wands because they don't like to, for some reason they don't like to draw it, which I understand. If you just want to let the wand do its, or the wood do its thing and tell you. But when I draw something, the good thing about it that I feel is that I have an idea of what I'm trying to do. And then a lot of times, I'd say 95% of the time, I end up changing something as I'm carving. I find that it's not exactly what I wanted to do, or it probably wouldn't look as good. I don't usually try to follow it to the T. There's so many. There's one here that I'll show you in a sec that is significantly similar to the original design, but at the same time I did not stick to it very much, and then I ended up completely taking something out of it at the end because I was like, this just doesn't look the way I want it. It's just not good. It's not the way I want it to be. It's too much. It's overdoing it. And I've mentioned this before too, and I'll mention it again. When you're making a wand, try not to overdo with the design, because you can easily like add one feature, then add another feature, then add another feature, and just keep adding features. And then it just looks very busy. You want to try to keep it somewhat cohesive and everything kind of matching. But anyway, let's talk about this. So we have this feathery style pommel, I guess. It's kind of weird because it's not exactly that. It's kind of part of the handle. But I feel like this one you would grip in the middle more. And that's kind of like what these little pieces are for. They're kind of like staples. But what's kind of cool is that it kind of looks like they go all the way through. In some spots, like this one goes through and then up and then back, and then out the other side over here, and then it doesn't go anywhere. But anyway, these are actually staples. They do actually go in like, you know, like a U shape or an N shape if they go in from the top. But this is made out of bloodwood. So this one is bloodwood, and I have another bloodwood wand, and we will go over that one now. So here it is. This one is nice and shiny, man. That red looks so good, especially in this lighting. It looks so like shiny. It almost looks like acrylic or like fire. It definitely looks fiery. It also has these little holes here that go all the way through. Try to keep them as even as possible. Obviously, this was probably about 80% made on the lathe. That's how I got this nice, perfect taper here. And then here at the end, we have these little facets where it has, it's kind of hard to tell, but there we go. That perfect lighting there. So we have these like nice little facets, which brings together the look from the back to the front. Because now we have the pommel here has some little facets as well, kind of like a twisting, flamey style look. Then obviously the little lines on the thing. And then it also indents, right? We got something to point right here. It actually goes inside a bit. Hard to tell. It's a little, one of those like little details that you're only going to really notice when you have it like in your hands. But I'm very happy with this one. It's very elegant, I guess you can say. Now, this is the one I was talking about. So if you're one of those people that are afraid of holes and stuff, this isn't actually holes. These are little divots. They're not full holes. They're just divots. But this one, the original artwork or drawing, the original drawing for it was very different. No, it was very similar, but it had this this wrap that I did around here, but also this little end here was like all the way up here. So it was a much longer and a shorter blade, but a much longer handle, which when I started making it, I felt like this is the right proportions for it and the right size. So I decided to keep it this way. And then I'm really happy with it. I did do a wrap on this, but I didn't like how it looked. So I just cut it off and then decided to keep it simple, stupid, you know, KISS, which I've mentioned before too, if you guys have been here before. But yeah, this is made out of Osage, orange Osage. We'll call it Osage. It was difficult to try to get these little dots here, and then you can see that there's some little baby ones in between. Yeah, it was kind of a pain in the butt to get them to look all uniform, but also at the same time organic. I think I did a decent job of accomplishing that. All of these wands have a like a, I was gonna say satin, but it's more of like a semi-gloss finish to them. That's my go-to if you guys ever wonder. My go-to is like a semi-gloss. I don't like it too glossy. I don't like it too matte. I like it matte sometimes, but I usually stick with the semi-gloss. I like it. I think it looks good. Now, this one, another holdy one. Okay, this one, these holes are a little bit more weird on this one. So this is Purple Heart, and it looks very purple. So I think it looks pretty good, but check out the handle. There's a lot of these tiny little, the little baby holes are in there too. So there's technically like what, 4 different size holes. And then all of the like medium to large holes that aren't the little tiny hole actually have little holes inside of them as well. So they're it's very weird and creepy, and has this nice little, you know, handle look. I like it. Instead of doing it like this one here, this one has more of a gradual, and then it just kind of straightens out like a perfect piece here. But you can see like the difference in the, technically this one, if they're both pointing forward, it would be like this, right? Because of that little bend at the end. That's why I like putting the little bend and the little the ducktail. This is more of a ducktail here, but yeah, this is this one is, I think, the first one that I carved out of this batch. So I roughed them all out like you guys saw in the previous video, and then I started with this one. This one took a while, and then I also did a little bit of burning, and then after I did the burning, that's usually how I get a nice like especially if I'm going with black. Really, only if I'm going with black, because you can't burn a different color. But that's how I get this nice little gradient from the black to whatever color the wand is. So that's how we got that. And then I did actually go in with a little bit of black paint just to fill in, because when you burn something, if I'm trying to burn inside of this hole here, it kind of creates a little air bubble. So the hot air is coming in, and it kind of creates a little air bubble, and it keeps it a little bit cooler. So if you keep trying to burn it, you'll actually burn around the edge of the hole, and it won't actually burn inside as much until you get to the point where you're burning the outside way too much, and then you got to sand it all down, and you lose a lot of the wood and a bunch of other problems. The last one is the spiral one. And if you look at this picture here, you can see that it was very spirally. It was a ribbon style wand. That's what I call those. I mean, that's what most people would call those, I would assume. So yeah, it was a ribbon. That was the idea for it. I did it, and then I realized, like, I've done these before. Let me see, is there anything else that I could do? And I was just like, well, I have some little brass, some brass tubing, some really small brass tubing. Let me drill some holes and put those in there. And I was just like, what if I cut it in half and then reattach it with the brass tubing? So that's what I did. I risked it. I was just like, I really hope I can do this. So, oh, also, it's made of mahogany, but I painted it black. So black mahogany, and then not really, just black basically. That's another thing too. You don't have to be afraid sometimes of painting your wands. Like, even if you're using a nice wood, you know, I feel like I make enough wands that sometimes I'm gonna paint the exotic wood, even though it kind of defeats the purpose. But inside, you know what kind of wood it is. So if you want mahogany, you know that it's a mahogany. It just doesn't have the like, you know, that brown, that deep brown color. But I think this came out real nice. So you can see right here where the connection is. So there, it's actually like floating there. So you can see that there's 3 pieces of brass. Let's see, can we show it that way? There we go. There's 3 pieces of brass actually holding the 2 together. I don't think anyone's ever done this before. I think this is a first. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I like this idea. I may use this again in the future, but I think it came out pretty cool. It has this nice little like bend to it, which was kind of natural because the way that it was, this was originally attached here. So when I reattached them, it kind of gave it this little like downward curve because I had to try to line up these curves here so that they kind of fit together. But because this was smaller, it kind of had to fit in a little bit different. So it kind of gave it this. So there's kind of technically a right way to hold it, right? So because if you hold it this way, then it's going to point up. If you hold it this way, it's going to point down a little bit. But I love this one. And then with the brass, like the little brass like fittings, and not fittings, the little brass like circles that go, are they, I guess they're circles. I mean, it's a tube, right? It's a tube that goes all the way through. But I just think that the brass and the black looks so good. And then obviously the finish, I think, makes it look real nice too. You got that sheen to it, but it's not too glossy. I think it looks real nice. And you can still see some of the grain coming through the wood as well. So it's not like a complete loss of the texture there. It doesn't look plasticky, which is nice. But yeah, this is my favorite one. I think this is the standout for these personally. Some people may not like this one though. You know, if you do end up picking up this wand, just be aware. Don't stick it in your pocket. Don't throw it across the room. Be careful with it. They're not toys. I always tell people that, and I say it somewhat often in the videos, that they're collector things. You know, they're to take pictures with, stuff like that, but not really to be flicking around and smacking people with them. If you want one of those, just buy a replica wand or something like that, or just, you know, something like this, probably pretty sturdy. Some of the wands are pretty, I would say that one's really the most fragile one, just because it's being held together by hopes and dreams. No, just kidding. It's being held together by brass tubing and glue. So, you know, it's not like gonna fall apart. It's not loose on there, but it's also very light. It's a very light wand because there isn't a lot of meat there. And mahogany isn't super dense. Like Purple Heart is pretty dense. Bloodwood is pretty dense, that's how you can get like this really nice finish on it. The tighter the grain, the better for like getting a glossy finish. Now let's go over what's going to be going on. One, I want you guys to vote on which one you think was your favorite out of this batch. And most likely in the next week or so, I'll probably be posting something on the channel. So if you don't follow us or me on anything else, you can still, and you subscribe to the channel, you'll most likely get a notification saying that that they're up for sale. If you are a patron, you're all set because you'll get notified first on Patreon or on Discord on our private server. So that being said, thank you guys. Oh, actually, no, wait. I gotta like hold up the wands and show you guys all of them together because that's something that I usually do. And I'm super rusty on doing this. Oh boy, look at that. It's almost like I've done this before. Yeah. Wait, where is it? Yes. Let me know which one was your favorite out of these. I think this one's my favorite, but I would say my second two are probably this one here and this one are so these three are my favorite on this batch, but I really like the other ones. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that I don't like them. I did make them. I tend to not make stuff that I don't like. So now I just have to take a bunch of pictures of these and spend probably several hours getting these ready to go on the shop. But first I got to edit this video. So I'm going to end it there. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for any specific types of videos you want to see, wand related or not wand related. Like we can do tools. I could try to make some other stuff. I do want to get some wands done for, you know, just to get that out of my system. But I am going to be doing I have some ideas for like, let's make this style of wand, or let's make this wand and let me walk you through my steps of doing it. You know, try not to do too much because I don't want it to be like a 3-hour long video, but kind of going through what I did. You think that is a good idea? Let me know. And if you have any of your own ideas for things you want to see, let me know as well down below. And yeah, that's it. enderswands.com if you want to go check out the wands after they're not up right now, so doesn't really matter. Oh boy. Okay, cool, guys. Thank you guys for watching. It feels good to be back. And thank you again for checking this video out. Alrighty. See you guys in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.